Mikhail Gorbachev is dead. Do you know who Mikhail Gorbachev is?
Yeah, he was the leader of the free world, right?
He was the leader of the free world. Yeah, but no, he's not technically wrong.
Yeah.
Right? Because I'm sure in a lot of hometown papers during the Cold War in Russia, he was called that, the leader of the free world. But, you know, we were a real powerful nation back then. And we were it was before the internet, so we weren't hearing from a lot of people, and everyone was a little more unified, and there was a lot of less disagreements. And we just made him into a cartoon. We were so gangsta back then. We just would throw him in airplane movies and Naked Gun movies and made fun of his fucking mole on his head. Do you know that little, what is that, a sunspot? What is that?
It's a birthmark.
He's got a birthmark on his head. And I remember Liam Neeson. No, not Liam Neeson, but the guy, Nelson, who played in
Leslie Nielsen.
Leslie Nielsen was trying to scrub it off with a napkin. I mean, disrespectful shit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Disrespectful shit. I think back then America would have had the balls to just like, Charlie the Prophet Muhammad. I didn't say it. But we would do shit like that. Just throw him in a comedy movie, make him into a caricature.
Yeah.
And he still kissed our ass. Reagan would go over there, you know? He'd shake hands. And he was the last leader of Russia before the Cold War ended, right? He oversaw, what was it called? Perestroika? Perestroika. I'm a fucking idiot. Perestroika.
It sounded like you had one right there.
Yeah, it sounded like a guy named Perry had a stroker. And it was part of a lyric. My friend Perry had a stroker. Perry a stroker. By the way, hearts out to, can we say it?
Yeah,
we can't say it.
Yeah.
So perestroika was the loosening of the economy, right? Making it sort of like he kind of loosened up the grip of the state on the economy, and they kind of went a little capitalist and democracy, right? That's when they started trying to do a little democracy. And Putin was sitting there going, oh, fuck, I don't like it. I'll get it back. But there was a little brief period where it was just like over, right? And then this is important to our generation, because then the Berlin Wall came down, and it was like, my nose is itchy again. The Berlin Wall came down. Too much coke is the problem. Mm-hmm. You guys got to let me not do so much coke. Mm-hmm. It's like I don't even do coke, but I rub my nose like I do coke. It's really unflattering. I've watched some of the episodes, and I'm just sitting there like, I look like a nerd trying to talk to a girl in 7th grade.
No coke, but you do have an addiction to bread and cheese.
Bread and cheese and snus.
Yeah.
So the Berlin Wall came down. That was like big news back in our day when the wall came down. There was like videos of people like reuniting with their families, and everyone was taking like a piece of the wall as a souvenir. It was a big moment. There used to be East and West Germany. One was communist and one was a democracy with capitalism. And then they lost. It was like the communists lost and we won. But it ain't over. China was like, this shit ain't over, dog. It's like we gotta fight one more time. It's like Conor McGregor after the last Dustin Poirier fight. He's like, this is not over. If we have to take this outside, we'll take it outside. Your wife's in me DMs, baby. That's Putin just yelling, your wife's in me DMs, baby. Meet you at the something nightclub, baby. And so I didn't even know he was still alive, to be honest with you. I didn't know.
I thought he died a long time
ago. I mean, he
ago.
was so out of the news. I don't think he was a popular person under Putin. I don't think Putin was a big fan of what he represented, maybe, or maybe I'm wrong. Was he in the news at all? I mean, at all?
No, they didn't like him.
They didn't like him, right?
Because he was the last. He saw the downfall of the USSR.
He was the last Don.
He was the last Don.
They didn't like him.
Yeah.
They didn't like him.
Well, some say he betrayed the movement.
Right, like Joe Colombo.
Yeah.
He was kind of like Joe Colombo. The other guys didn't like him because he was betraying the movement by trying to do this Italian Civil Liberties League.
Yeah.
And they're going, well, calm down. Shut up. You're ruining our thing here.
He's in the mafia. They
Yeah,
would
you
call him Gorby the Stain.
Yeah, they Gorby the Stain. Gorby the Stain was basically trying to ruin their thing. They had a nice little fucking state-controlled thing where they had absolute power and absolute control over all the property and the marketplace. And Gorby, much like Joe Colombo, was like, "We're not that bad. Look, guys, I'm a tax-paying. You know, you guys are presidents against Russians. You're presidents against Russians. You're presidents against Russians.
In this day and age.
In this day and age, you're president against Russians. We're good people. All we do is we die, and we starve." Russians are good at starving from famines and dying in wars. They're just good, dog. They're ready. They're ready to go. You just feel like when death comes for a Russian, that may be the only time they smile. And they go, finally, some peace. Because it's miserable up there. It's cold. It's freezing cold. They only keep warm with vodka. You know, you're in Russia. You got to deal with bears and stuff. And apparently a lot of traffic cams. You ever notice all those internet videos of traffic accidents? They're always in Russia, where the cars just ram into each other, and you see it through their dash cams. There's so many dash cams in Russia.
Yeah.
A lot of those videos are guys trying to jump in front of the car. You ever watch those? I didn't know you could sue guys or whatever in Russia, but apparently you can. Where like there'll be a dash cam to show a car just slowly coming up to a red light, and then some guy will just jump in front of it and fall on the hood. And I think that was a big reason for the dash cams, because people started doing that. I believe it's Russia. Maybe I'm just stereotyping some foreign place. But it was like a thing, right?
I think that happens everywhere.
It happens everywhere, I guess. So do Verizon commercials.
Oh, no.
Those are always funny when you see just a guy just lay on your hood afterwards. Some of them would be funny, too. They just walk in front at the red light. They'd look left, they'd look right, and then they just dive onto the hood. There's some good ones. You ever see these, Jared? Take a peek. They're so funny.
That kind of looks like England a little bit.
Oh, wait, we missed it.
Yeah, these are so funny. Look.
That acting was horrendous.
Yeah, and look at the friends there, the accomplices. Are you okay? Oh, is that the...
Oh, it's just I'm talking over.
Oh, yeah, they're so funny, dog. There's so many of them. Some of my favorites, I even remember them. Because one I have in my mind is like the car stops and this lady just slowly gets on the ground in front of the car and just she like slowly got to her knees. She was like old and she like made her way and she just laid down. It's really funny. Yeah. Good old scams. Scams are funny always. They're always good. So yeah, Gorby died at 92, right? He made it all the way to 92. Old, dude. I don't know what he was doing in between like his stepping down till now. But this is a big moment. I mean, he was a monumental figure in history. And eventually led to the rise of Vladimir Putin, who has tried for the past century to restore Russia to its former glory. Joe Biden praised Gorbachev for being open to democratic change. Perestroika. Perry had a stroka. They gave him the Nobel Peace Prize in 1990. There's a little nice fact.
That's nice.
Yeah, because it did essentially end the Cold War, right? It was over.
First time that a Russian won a prize without using dope.
Yeah, that's right. First time they got the gold without a little help from an injection. Yeah, you remember that was the era of Rocky. We would blatantly throw it in movies back then. We would never do that with China now. There'd never be like a boxing movie of some American boxer fighting. I mean, the propaganda was so, and we loved it. We ate it up. I mean, it was so heavy-handed back then. It was almost comical.
Yeah.
Like how obvious the propaganda was. Like they just Hollywood and Washington were so in bed on what to do, what movies to make, that like Rocky 3, he's fighting some Russian named Drago. Did you ever see Rocky 3?
Yeah.
That's Rocky 4.
Oh, Rocky 4.
Rocky
I apologize. I forgot my Rockies.
I must break you.
Yeah.
Rocky 3 is the one with Mr. T.
Yeah. Well, this would have been a good discussion on Andrew Tate's book club meeting on it. This would be a great conversation with his hose on his plane.
Like, what are you talking about? That was spring 4. What are you talking about? That was Rocky 4.
So, I mean, if you look back at that now, it's actually like really funny how obvious the propaganda was.
Yeah.
There was no subterfuge. It wasn't subtle at all. It was just like Rocky, like, I'm an American guy. And underdog, right? And then like this fucking machine Drago, who didn't he kill Apollo Creed?
Yeah.
Yup.
He killed Apollo Creed. It's just smashed him. And then we were supposed to believe Rocky, Sylvester Stallone, figured it out. With good old American he just chasing chickens. That's how he trained. The Russians in there with all the science and shit. He's massive. He doesn't smile, and Rocky's sitting there having marital issues with Adrian. He's he's chasing chickens around to train, but he avenges his friend Apollo Creed, and finally beats Drago. And the best part is the flag he wraps around himself, and he fights him in Russia, which is the best. You know, he just fights him right there in Russia, where, back in that day, that happened all the time.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Just athletics would just have there. Look at the size difference. Look at the size difference between Drago and look at the amount of steroids those guys were on. And also, I love how they glossed them up before the shot.
Mm-hmm.
Nice and shiny.
Yeah, those dudes, that is baby oil.
Yeah.
A little baby oil on both of them.
Went through the same process as a Krispy Kreme donut.
They look glazed.
Yeah.
And then the last scene is the funniest when Rocky wins, right? Rocky wins, and then there was the only realistic moment in the movie was when the whole Russian crowd started chanting USA.
Yeah.
Because somehow Rocky's victory over Drago made them change their allegiance to whatever country. I mean, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Is there a chanted USA? The propaganda was strong because we wanted to show that the people secretly, and there was probably a little truth there. Secretly the USSR, the people over there, they probably got slipped, maybe like a Corey Haim in a Corey Feldman movie, and they're like, what the fuck? These guys get to live like that?
Yeah.